Hi everyone and welcome to my Craft Man Cave. Today I'm going to be doing the answer session for the questions that you've asked. I invited questions from everybody and I have my list here. So let's go straight ahead and get started with question number one. Okay, question number one. What brand of acrylic paint do I like to use? And this was asked by Peggy DS. Well, it's not really a question of what acrylic paints do I like to use, it's what can I afford to use really. And the ones that I do tend to use the most are the indigo blue English Cottage Artists acrylic paints, available in about 12 or 16 different colours. This is the Townhouse Teal. Fairly inexpensive but very good quality. Now indigo blue is a brand which is now, well, in the UK, you know, it's everywhere. In the US, it's just starting to get a foothold in the US. So they were at CHA this year, so you can get stuff. Just talk to your local store. They also do stamps as well. Fabulous, deeply etched red rubber stamps. So indigo blue, a name to look out for. I also use the Crafts Artiste acrylic paints, which are very inexpensive. I paid about £1.25, which is probably under $2 for you. And there's a range of about 30 different colours in these, and again these are very inexpensive, and you get quite a lot in them, and you know they're good for what we do. For art journaling, they're perfect. And the other one, of course, is the old Tim Holt. The Ranger Distress Paint, again 40 odd different colours now, and these have the dauber top, so are very versatile, and again fairly inexpensive. These are about the same sort of price as that, whereas they're about a fifth of the price. So you can see why I've got quite a few of these, and these are the ones that I use mostly. And I believe Crafts, it also goes by the name of Paper Mania, and again they were at CHA. It's a UK based company, but they were at CHA this year, so I know that Paper Mania and Crafts again is starting to get a foothold in the US. So have a look around, and I know you'll be able to get them across Europe as well. I'm not sure about Australia though, but there you go. Okay, so question number two. Where am I from originally? And that was asked by Bob from Bob's Creative Days. Okay, I currently live in Leeds, which is in Yorkshire, which is kind of middle of the country, and I'll insert a map just to show anybody that doesn't know where it is, where I am in the UK. But originally I'm from the East Coast, so only about 60 miles away from here. But I have lived all over the country. I have lived in various different places in the world too, which I will come to in a minute. So there you go. So East Coast, the city is called Hull, Kingston upon Hull, which is also the site of the Humber Bridge, which is the second largest single suspension bridge in the world. I think the only other one's in Japan, but there you go. So that's question number two. Question number three, asked by quite a few people. Bob, Deb, Mercedes and Marianne. Where does my inspiration come from? Okay, question is kind of two or threefold. I get my inspiration from everywhere, basically. I can be driving down the street and I'll see something which will inspire me. I can see something in a magazine, I can see something on TV, but primarily I get my inspiration from watching you. So, and Marianne says, do I ever get a chance to watch any videos that are being put up by my subscribers? Yes, all the time. I'm watching you just as much as you're watching me. So I hardly watch any TV at all. I spend probably 90% of the time that I have my free time watching you guys on YouTube. So yeah, I've got my eye on you. So that's where my inspiration comes from. It's literally, I may see colour combinations, I may see anything. I could be in the supermarket and see some packaging and think, I like the colour combination or whatever. So literally, inspiration comes from everywhere. But if I'm stuck, then yes, I do use prompts. I was asked whether or not I use prompts. But yeah, I do. I take my prompts as well from a website called journal52.com, and they do a weekly prompt, but I've also got my little prompt box that I write my prompts down in. If I think of a word, I like a word, I'll write it on a post-it note and pop it in the box, and my little prompt box is kept up here. Now watch everything fall down onto my head. There we go. This is my little prompt box, and in here I've got lots of little post-it notes. And on each post-it note there is a word, just one single word. Now I've just taken that one out at random, and we'll open that one up. And it says silhouettes. There you go. So if I'm stuck for inspiration or need a little push in the right direction, then my little prompt box is worth its weight in gold. So if you haven't got one, get yourself one and just write some words down. Okay, so number 4, what got me inspired to start art journaling? That was asked by June Sefskik, Jen Campbell and Jano. Again, watching YouTube. I create for a living, it's my job, but when I create for a living, it's completely different to art journaling, it's completely different to mixed media. But what I do for a living, which I'll explain in a minute, I didn't want to come home and do the same thing that I do for a living as a hobby, if you know what I mean. So what I started to do was I started to watch art journaling videos and mixed media videos on YouTube. And I watched as many as I could. So I watched people like Sandra van der Geest, I watched people like Shannon Green, I watched people like Cece's Creations, I watched Tisha Moore, I watched Dina Wakely, I watched everybody I possibly could for about a year. And then my partner bought me an art journal as a birthday present and said, right, stop watching, start doing. And the rest is history, as they say. So how long have I been doing art journaling, or arting as it's called? That was asked by Mr. Victor, Moncree08, Carmen and June again. How long have I been doing it? I've been creating for a job since, well, for about 8 years now, 8 or 9 years. Previous to that, I taught. I am a teacher, a trained teacher in literacy and numeracy. And art was always something that I did just as a hobby now and again. Never really did it too much until I got the opportunity to start this new job where I then started creating for a living. So, but I've only been art journaling and doing mixed media since, now you can laugh at this, I started in July last year. So literally I'm almost coming to my first year's anniversary of doing art journaling. And that's it. So I've only been doing it for about a year. I only started filming my processes and my art journals once I was comfortable with my style, once I was comfortable with what I was actually creating was similar to what I was seeing you guys creating. So as soon as I thought I was about there, then I started to actually film my processes and started to upload those. And I only started to upload my videos in March this year. So literally March to April, May, June, 3 months. I've only been putting videos up there for about 3 months. So there you go. I'm still a baby. I'm still beginner. I'm still very, very much learning with everybody else. But again, I keep watching, I keep learning, I keep practicing, and I keep trying out new things. So question number 6 was asked by Cindy. How do you work without creating a mess? I don't. I get filthy. I get my hands completely covered in sprays and paint and gesso and glue, and you wouldn't believe, I've actually got hung up, this is how messy I get. Look, I've actually got an apron, and this is just to protect my clothing. because I'm forever throwing paint on my t-shirts and throwing paint on my jeans or on my trousers or everywhere. I've even got paint in my hair sometimes. So I do get messy. The only thing that I do is that I try and clear up as I'm going. So if you've been watching my videos, you'll see me constantly or often wiping down my craft mat with, you know, kitchen towel or paper towels, or with baby wipes, wet wipes. But I'm always doing my hands too. So, and there is a barrier cream you can get actually to put on your hands to, it's like hand defence to stop any harmful chemicals getting through your skin. But you know, I don't use that because I'm tough. All right. Okay. Number 7. Is this just a hobby or do I create for a living? Again, asked by Cindy and June. Yes, I do create for a living. For the past 8 years, I have owned a company with my partner called Crafty Hands. Now, we create, or design, create, produce, manufacture a whole raft of card making materials. Now, here in the UK, Crafty Hands is you know, it's fairly well known. We have sold our products on the TV shopping channels like QVC. We have QVC here in the UK, but we also have another channel called Ideal World, and they have a total dedicated craft channel called Create and Craft. And we sold our products on that TV channel for quite some time. We don't do it now because they became greedy and very, very unreasonable, and etc, etc, etc. So we stopped doing it about a year ago. But my company, Crafty Hands, again, has a YouTube channel. We have our own website. Everything that I create is on there. But also we create and design products for other companies too. So there may be products that you've used that I've designed. It's just that I don't put my name to them. So there's a bit of a mystery for you. So yeah, I design quite a lot of stuff for other people. Card making resources, scrapbooking resources, and that's what my company does. So as you can see, it's nothing to do with mixed media and it's nothing to do with art journaling. So I wanted something to do differently when I got home on a night that wasn't card making. I occasionally do the odd bit of card making when I need cards for specific reasons, such as people's birthdays, and also when I need to do samples for TV shows. Because Crafty Hands also has a regular daily TV programme on a craft internet TV channel called the British Craft Network.tv. So once a day there's an hour-long programme with myself and my partner on that TV channel. So again, that's the British Craft Network.tv. So have a look at the schedule. If you want to see what we do, then that's where it is. And my company's website is www.craftyhands.co.uk, and that's crafty with a K. So it's Crafty Hands, all one word, with a K, .co.uk. So have a look. That's what I do for a living. Question number 8, asked by Carmen. Have I had any formal art training? No. There you go, simple answer. My art training comes from watching you guys and just having a go and doing it myself. I did do art in school, but that's it. I didn't get any particular qualifications, I didn't get to any particular level. I can draw. I'm a very, very mediocre painter. I can't really do painting, and it's one of those things that I really need to practice. Hence I'm doing the 100 Artworks challenge. To try and learn how to paint faces. Specifically for me, it's whimsical men's faces. And I did one the other day. Oh, I don't know whether you can grab that off the shelf. Did that one the other day, and after I'd done it, I thought, looks a bit like David Tennant, Doctor Who. 3 Doctors ago. So no, I've never had any formal art training. Excuse me, I'm getting a bit hoarse. It's just Pepsi. Nothing stronger. It's still before lunch. So yeah, so no formal art training. It's just practice, practice, practice really. I can't say that I can draw, but I can copy. I'd make a great counterfeiter, I'm telling you. You give me a photograph or you give me an illustration, I can copy that almost exact. But you ask me to do something original, forget it. No, can't do it. So there you go. Question number 9. Do my pages stick together? If not, why not? Okay, that was asked by Thomas. I'm presuming you mean pages in my art journal, Thomas. They do stick together. And it's one of those eternal questions for that art journalists have to go through. If you're using acrylic paint, then the chances are that they won't particularly stick together. If you're sealing your pages with Mod Podge or gel medium and that kind of stuff, chances are, you know, you may get a little bit of sticking. Now, if you look at this one, it sticks pretty much on the seam, and that's where most of the pressure is. But there is a tip for getting your pages not to stick together, and it's car wax. If you have a liquid wax that is used for polishing cars, or even a can of spray furniture polish, spray pages with it and just rub, and the wax will protect the pages from sticking together. You can also put greaseproof paper in between them, and they won't stick together either. But that's kind of a waste of greaseproof paper if you ask me. But the car wax, the liquid wax, it's fairly inexpensive, and literally all you have to do is just rub over. Just make sure that you're not putting the car wax over a page that has any paints or sprays or spritzers or whatever you've used that are water reactive. I know it's wax that you're putting on, so it shouldn't react, or it shouldn't reactivate any of the colour again, but just do a little test spot first just to make sure. Now also, Ranger have just come out with, Tim Holtz again, has just come out with something called Distress Glaze or Micro Glaze, which is exactly what it is. It's like a paraffin wax. So if you can get paraffin wax, you're fine. Microglaze will do the same thing, and it should stop your pages from sticking together as well as sealing any of your water-based spritzes and sprays like the dilutions. Yeah, it seals dilutions, can you believe it, after all this time. It's one of the reasons why I stopped using dilutions, because you couldn't seal them with anything apart from Spectrafix or something like that. So there you go, that's why. So that's what I use on mine. I use car wax, and it stops my pages from sticking together. Okay, question number 10. Have I experienced any prejudice or stereotypes as a male art journalist? And that was asked by Thomas and Brooklyn Michelle. No, is the answer to that. I like to think that people who creative people, artists, art journalists, mixed media artists, whatever, we're more of an enlightened bunch. Bit more liberal, bit more enlightened, and kind of have that live and let live attitude. So no, I haven't experienced any kind of stereotypes, any kind of prejudices whatsoever. And I've never had any comments that have been left on my YouTube channel or my blog that have been in any way, shape or form that I would consider upsetting. I had one, but that was for a different reason altogether, and that was somebody who accused me of something that I hadn't done. It was stealing something. It was like stealing an image from the internet because I hadn't mentioned that I'd paid for the image. They thought I'd stolen it because I hadn't mentioned that I'd paid for it. But I hadn't mentioned that I'd paid for the book or the pencils or the paint either, so why would I? But there you go. So no, that was it. No, never have I experienced anything. And to be honest, it wouldn't bother me if somebody did. You know, people are entitled to their own opinions. I have a very, very good defence against people who want to spout hate or prejudice or bigotry or whatever. There's a block facility on YouTube. So if ever I get anything like that, I would just block that person from doing it again. So there you go. We've all got an off switch. Easy as that. Question number 11. how has my YouTube channel grown so quickly? Any tips? And this was asked by Eva. Eva, YouTube has an entire section for creators, and it's filled with hints and tips of the best way to get people to subscribe to your YouTube channel, and the ways to make your videos engaging, and all the rest of it. There's some fantastic information, some fantastic tips, and literally I just followed those. Now the other thing is, whenever anybody clicks the thumbs up underneath your video, that acts as a recommendation for somebody else. So if you click it, then YouTube sees that and then will recommend my video to somebody else, and that way your exposure starts getting larger and larger, and it does grow exponentially. But you do need to follow a few of the tips that YouTube recommend for engaging and for creating videos. But I will say this though, Eva, you need to make sure your video is good quality. You need to make sure you have good lighting, and you need to make sure you have decent sound. So if you're far away from your camera, get yourself a little radio mic. I'm only sat about 2 or 3 feet away from my camera, so the sound from the camera is going to be far better than if I was 10 feet away, so if you understand what I mean. So good sound, good lighting, and a good quality. Record in high definition if you can. If you can record in a minimum of 720, let YouTube, when you upload the video, YouTube will drop it down to 540 anyway, but that allows people watching your video to watch it in high def if they want to, if they're on broadband or on Wi-Fi, that kind of thing. So yeah, make your videos as entertaining as you can, because nobody wants to watch a boring video. Try and keep them within a certain length. Now YouTube recommend up to about 14 minutes. If you verify your account, you can go past that, but if you try and if you're out verifying your account, you'll only be able to upload up to about 14 minutes anyway. It's just one of the rules of YouTube. So, but read the Creator Handbook. It's a great place to start. Okay, question number 12. Have I ever been to the US? And this was asked by June and Marianne. Yes is the answer to that question. I go every year. Occasionally I pop across to CHA just to have a look to see what's going on. But I also go on vacation sometimes. My favourite places are Miami, I like LA, I've been to all over the place in the US, but I did actually live there. I actually lived in San Francisco for a year, way back in the 90s, and I had a lovely little house up in Haight-Ashbury. So I lived there for a year in San Francisco. So yes, I'm familiar with the US, so I do know the differences between Britain and the US, especially with the spellings, especially with nuances in the language as well. People always say that America and Britain are two countries separated by a common language, and it's so true. So there you go. So yes, I have, and yes, I will be coming back. I didn't go last year. The last time I was in the US, I was in Las Vegas and San Diego, and that was 2013. 2014 I didn't go on vacation at all because I was working. We were launching the British Craft Network TV internet channel, so we didn't get a chance to go away, which is why I went earlier, a couple of weeks ago. Question number 13. Are my family and partner supportive? Yes. I work with my partner anyway. We have crafty hands, so our hobbies, we are very tuned in to allowing each other to have creative space. I share the craft cave with my partner, and I will show you what my partner does in a minute, because he does also create some amazing things. Totally different to what I do. He's a different level altogether. He's so creative, so talented, and what he creates blows my mind. But I'm going to show you what he does in a second. But there you go. So yes, my partner's very supportive. My family have always been supportive of what I do anyway. When I started Crafty Hands 8 years ago, they were very supportive. My mother is also a crafter, so she's very supportive. But as for YouTube, they don't quite get it. My parents are in their 70s and they don't quite get the whole YouTube thing. I have got brothers and sisters, but one of my sisters is a crafter, my other sister isn't, and my brother, well, he doesn't do anything really apart from drink. I don't mean that in a bad way. That's he's not an alcoholic or anything. So yeah, so my family and my immediate family and everybody, my friends, are all very, very, very supportive. So that's great. So question number 14, how do I cope with my arthritis and does art journaling help? Now Andrea asked this one. Andrea, yes it does. Now I have arthritis in my left knee, my left hip and my right elbow so far. And art journaling, I'm right-handed, so having it in my right elbow is a bit of a pain, but I have steroid injections about every 6 months and they do help, but some days, especially if I've been laid on it wrong, like this morning, it aches like billy-o, and I just take painkillers. But I find that by lunchtime it's usually lubricated itself enough, and my hip and my knee, if I've been sat down, yeah, it does get pain, but you know. Marianne left a comment saying, I think it was Bet Davis that said that growing old ain't for sissies, so I ain't going to complain. Question number 15. How is my video set up in my craft man cave? Okay, now then, just behind me, just here, can you see this? I have a shelf, and in that shelf I have a very high-tech piece of equipment. It's called MDF, and in the piece of MDF there is a thread, a screw, a nut if you like, which is embedded with glue into the side. So my camera, that sits on the top of the shelf and my camera sits that way, shooting down. And this was asked by Bob, I think it was. Yeah, by Bob. And literally that's it. It's no more high-tech than that, and this piece of wood didn't cost me anything. This was just a piece of wood that was in fact I think it was from a piece of flat pack furniture that we threw away. It was actually from my dad. My dad actually did it for me, because he's very woodworky, is my dad. So yeah, and literally I've just got some lines that I've drawn on there so I know where to pull it out to. So if you can see, it literally sits underneath a big stack of wood mounted stamps, and I literally just pull it out with the camera on it, and when I'm done with it I just slide it back in, and that's it. So currently the video is set up on a tripod, which is why I'm filming now. That's why it's not up there. There? Yeah, wherever. Anyway. So that's how my video is set up in my craft man cave. So that was by Bob. Right, question number 16. Do I have any pets? And this was asked by Mercedes and June. Yes, I do have some pets, and I'm going to show you a couple of little photographs of them now. Okay, this is Benjamin. Benjamin Bunny is our house rabbit. He's 3 years old, and he has what they call a chinchilla coat. So he's very, very fluffy, very, very furry. That's Benjamin. And I also have Bentley. This is Bentley. Yes, Bentley is, what date is it today? 20th, yeah, 20th today, 20th of June. So it literally is just 8 months old. I know, he's beautiful, isn't he? And he is absolutely, he has a beautiful, beautiful personality. He's very loving, and he's so, so cuddly. He wants cuddling all of the time. So I'm very lucky. And those are my little fur, well, our fur babies. There you go. So last question now. So question number 17, and this is asked by Mercedes. Where would I like to paint in the world, or if I could paint anything anywhere in the world, where would I want to go to do it? I've been very lucky so far. I have travelled extensively across the world. I've seen many, 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 many wondrous things, and many, many not so wondrous things. But if I was going to be given the choice of going anywhere, then I would go to somewhere like Athens, or Rome or Pompeii, somewhere where they have phenomenal architecture, somewhere in maybe Eastern Europe, Prague, somewhere like that. I love archaeology. I love the history, such as, you know, the Romans and the ancient Greeks, but I also love architecture. So anywhere that's got really good architecture would be fantastic for me, because that would just be like a dream holiday too. So okay, that's it. So those are the questions for now. I will do another Q&A session, you know, later in the year possibly, if anybody else wants to know anything else. So I hope you've got something out of this Q&A session. You've got a little bit more of an insight into me. So great for all the new subscribers to my YouTube channel, which now, as of this morning, there was 1,765 before I came out to film this. So 1,765 in 2 weeks. So I've gone from 500 to 1,765 in 2 weeks. Phenomenal. And yes, the giveaway for Marianne has now gone. The video is complete. It's all narrated and it's ready to be shown and uploaded onto YouTube. I just don't want to do that until Marianne actually receives her canvas. So that was the 500 subscriber giveaway. By the time I get around to doing that, hopefully when Marianne gets hers, I can do another giveaway then. So I think I'm going to be doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So it's going to have to be something a bit more involved than what I did for Marianne. Or we'll see. I may do a series of 1 or 2 or 3 giveaways. Who knows? Who knows? I haven't given it any much thought. That's it. I'm rambling now. So I'm going to go and let you get back to whatever it is you were doing. And like I said, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you've got more of an insight. And I hope you'll join me again real soon for my next start to finish video. So from me, bye for now.